What's up, Summoners, and welcome back to our channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. My name is Nathan Ng, and in this video, I'll be covering the newest Korean builds for patch 11.24. With the second preseason patch, it's no surprise that players are innovating and finding better builds, or even new options to tech in during certain scenarios. I'll be covering all those builds for all 5 roles, so make sure you stay tuned. That being said, hit that sub button and let's start the video. Beginning with the top lane, we have a brand new build for Jayce. In case you haven't been playing too much in the preseason, Jayce's popularity skyrocketed following the addition of the newest inspiration keystone, First Strike. This new keystone gives its user a short time frame where they can access increased bonus damage and also gain bonus gold based on that extra damage that they deal. Unsurprisingly, this rune fits Jayce extraordinarily well for both its benefits. Jayce's damage comes out very quickly, and the fact that it provides him a sizable amount of extra income accelerates his early to mid-game scaling. Jayce relies heavily on building leads, snowballing, and then closing out games so fast, so the inspiration tree is perfect for him. For runes, take First Strike, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, Presence of Mind, Coup de Grace, Double Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. Follow up with these items: Eclipse, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Mana Immune, Sorelda's Grudge, Yumu's Ghostblade, and either Edge of Night or Guardian Angel. Let me take a quick second to mention our website, ProGuides.com. There you can go ahead and access courses as well as contact coaches that can help you adapt to the preseason changes. If champions like Jayce are a struggle for you to play against, don't hesitate to talk to one of our coaches so they can help you develop a winning game plan. Next up is Wukong. While the majority of his build hasn't changed, the big difference moving forward is that you want to consider running Lethal Tempo. With some extra attack speed, expect to see a massive increase in DPS. Players are also running Ignite over Flash for some extra kill pressure. While you do have to give up the sustain that Conqueror provides, you're gonna end up with more kill pressure than before, but at the very least you have access to some sustain and survivability through items. For runes, run Lethal Tempo, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Double Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. The items are Divine Sunderer, Defensive Boots, Ravenous Hydra, Serix Gage, Death Stance, and either Guardian Angel or Spirit Visage. And that wraps up our top lane builds. We're putting them up on the screen one more time for you to check out. Save them or write them down, and let's move on to the jungle next. In the jungle, we must absolutely talk about Kha'Zix. This cockroach has some system changes that have made him much more stronger than before. Namely, the biggest change is the addition of First Strike. The new rune synergizes heavily with champions that deal their damage in a quick burst or all up front. Kha'Zix is a great example, as his Q's short cooldown can sometimes allow him to benefit from a bonus damage twice during the keystone short window. In addition, First Strike significantly boosts the amount of gold that Kha'Zix is able to acquire. Paired with Features Market, the 2 runes enable Kha'Zix to hit those massive assassin item power spikes even faster than before. Anytime an assassin is ahead, it's suffocating. They instantly one-shot any squishy players that are left with practically no breathing room. For runes, run First Strike, Magical Footwear, Futures Market, Cosmic Insight, Sudden Impact, Relentless Hunter, Double Adaptive Force, and Armor. Ultimately, all these choices in the inspiration tree provide some free gold. Extra gold, free boots, and being able to purchase items earlier make the world of a difference for Kha'Zix. You shouldn't worry about the money lost paying back the debt either. First Strike will easily make that money back and so much more. For items, build Yumu's Ghostblade, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Eclipse, Sorelda's Grudge, Edge of Night, and finally a Guardian's Angel. Axiom Mark is another option, but with it slightly nerfed, it's no longer paramount to build it on him. Following up is Zac. The buffs to tank mythic items have given tank junglers much more freedom and agency in games. Zac is no exception, and players easily take advantage of the increased damage. In spite of a nerf to Frostfire Gauntlet, Zac is in a much better spot than before, and the newest trend is players running Teleport on him. Teleport on junglers have been seen on other champions before, but the biggest reason is that you want it on Zac so you can go ahead and power farm to rank up your E as soon as possible. It's not horrible at rank 1, but most of us are all too aware of that gigantic slingshot range it boasts at max range. Also, hitting level 6 is a huge spike, and while Zac does want to help his team by ganking heavily, he can use Teleport to counter gank early. Instead, he can just apply pressure when he's a much larger threat. Literally, that's my best Zac impression. Anyway, for runes, run Aftershock, Font of Life, Conditioning, Revitalize, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Ability Haste, Adaptive Force, and Armor. His items are going to be Ionian Boost of Lucidity, Frostfire Gauntlet, Demonic Embrace, Thornmail, Spirit Visage, and either Zhonya's Hourglass or Anathema's Chains. With the jungles covered, we've put up the builds one more time for you on the screen. Take note of them and let's head over to the mid lane next. The mid lane features the return of the veteran of the preseason. While Viktor has had his fair share of highs and lows, he's currently living through the golden age. First Strike, as well as the other mythic item, Crown of the Shattered Queen, has changed everything for him. Like other champions with that rune, Viktor deals damage in quick bursts. More gold for Viktor is also terrifying. He's always been a strong late game champion, but the issue has always been getting to that point where he's relevant without losing the game. Because of the new Keystone, Victor is able to keep up with opponents and hit massive power spikes much earlier than before. Crown of the Shattered Queen also contributes heavily as it provides an incredible amount of safety with its built-in damage reduction. For runes, run First Strike, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. For items, build Crown of the Shattered Queen, Sorcerer's Shoes, Cosmic Drive, Rabadon's Death Cap, Zhonya's Hourglass, and Void Staff. Before moving on, let me ask you our question of the day. What are your goals for the preseason? Mine are to improve at dodging enemy skill shots and also to pick up a couple of champions, Victor included. Might be because of Arcane, might be because he's broken, maybe both. Let me know your goals in the comments down below and let's finish up with the new builds. Next is Kayle, who's seen a recent surge in her win rate and popularity with a reworked Lethal Tempo Keystone. More attack speed means more damage for Kayle, and who's complaining? Except for the enemy team. Or I guess people that hate Kayle. And trust me, it seems like everybody hates Kayle, the vegetable, and the champion. Anyway, the Keystone was also recently buffed for ranged champions, meaning Kayle is in for a great time moving forward. Sacrificing some attack range for a nice boost in attack speed is pretty worth it, especially in the early game if she's forced into taking the fight. For runes, run Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Alacrity, Cut Down, Second Wind, Overgrowth, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. For her items, build Nashor's Soothe, Berserker's Grief, Riftmaker, Wit's End, Shadow Flame, and Zhonya's Hourglass. Shadow Flame combined with Cut Down will significantly increase Kayle's ability to burn through the enemy's front line. Her damage is already high enough that she won't have many struggles against the enemy team's carries, and by quickly taking out tanks or bruisers, the rest of the team fight plays out much more easily. Wait, is that why they call it Shadow Flame? Because it burns through the enemy's front line? Probably not. Anyway, that's it for the mid lane, and we'll put the builds up one more time on the screen. Next up, let's run through the bottom lane. A bunch of champions that previously used Kleptomancy are now using First Strike. Ezreal has joined that club as well. First Strike provides some easy to earn gold for Ezreal to utilize. The extra damage it provides isn't half bad either, but the most important thing is hitting those early item power spikes, and that's pretty huge, especially since he needs to finish Manamune very early to quickly climb out of that power dip that building a tier creates. With this build, you're able to hit that early game build much more faster than before with Ezreal, so yes, in other words, you'll be playing for some late game scaling. For your runes, run First Strike, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, Mana Flow Band, Gathering Storm, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. For your items, build the Ionian Boost of Lucidity, Manamune, Trinity Force, Sorella's Grudge, Blade of the Rune King, and Horizon Focus. Since you're running First Strike, starting tier when possible is suggested. More gold means that you'll be able to upgrade it faster, so you won't have to sit on what's essentially dead weight for nearly as long. Horizon Focus is another solid purchase on Ezreal, since you'll typically be poking away at enemies past the minimum range required to access that bonus damage. That said, we also want to mention Trundle Support, who is currently one of the highest win rate supports in Korean solo queue. Aside from the growing popularity of tanks, the changes of Glacial Augment have significantly increased the amount of utility that Trundle can provide for his team. A well-placed pillar will reward Trundle's team with an incredible field of crowd control to work off of, and the damage reduction pairs with Trundle's ability to steal AD with his Q. For runes, run Glacial Augment, Perfect Timing, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, Second Wind, Unflinching, Ability Haste, Armor, and a defensive rune. For the items, build Defensive Boots, Locket of Iron Solari, Knight's Vow, Watchful Wardstone, and either Thornmail or Anathema's Chains. I know we said Trundle is one of the worst supports in the game in one of our other videos, but you know, with this build he becomes quite alright. Anyway, we'll put those bottom lane builds up one more time for you to check out. To conclude the video, we have one more combo to show you all. Namely, the combo is Kindred Jungle and Rakan Support. An odd pair, the two work together quite well, since they're able to easily pick off overextended enemies. With the help of Predator, Rakan is able to help Kindred hunt down her marks and pick up quick takedowns. Not only to complete her minigame, but also to pick up good gold leads as well. Like any marksman, Kindred scales well, and together, the two provide solid utility for any team composition. For the runes, run Lethal Tempo, Overheal, Legend Alacrity, Cut Down, Magical Footwear, Cosmic Insight, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and Armor. For her items, build Kraken Slayer, Berserker's Grief, The Collector, Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, and Wit's End. In Rakan's case, you want to use Predator, Cheap Shot, Zombie Ward, Ultimate Hunter, Font of Life, Bone Plating, Ability Haste, Adaptive Force, and a defensive rune. For his items, build Ionian Boost of Lucidity, Shurelya's Battle Song, Chemtech Putrefier, Watchful Wardstone, and Zhonya's Hourglass. With all these builds covered, we'll be wrapping this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below, and to also expand the description if you want to be part of our Discord community. Until next time everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.